How's everyone doing today? Great conference, right? It's great to be here in New York. I've come all the way from sunny Australia to sunny New York, so very lucky to get great weather on both ends. And I'm very, very excited to be talking to you today about the biggest shift in the history of product management. I used to work at a company called Atlassian. Did a little bit of work on Jira, and then moved on to some other platform pieces at the company. And product management then is entirely different to product management today. And Alloy has actually been built to be a new AI-based system for the future of how we're all going to build products. There's lots of amazing tools out there. The purpose of the talk today is not to sort of shill our product to you and tell you to use it, but it's actually going to be all about how you can adopt an AI-first product builder mindset, how you can become a builder rather than just a planner, and then impart those skills in any tools you like. But it is going to be really exciting to show you some of what we've got right on the cutting edge of AI prototyping and building today. All right, so I think before we look into the future, let's take a moment to just revisit the past and how we got to this present moment in time. How many people here were product managers in 2024? Classic show of hands shtick. Does this look familiar? Used to be the only way that you could get anything done in your product. Get everyone in the room, have the CEO get up on the whiteboard, start to nut out different ideas for what you might be able to build, and then rather than actually be able to experience those changes to your product, sort of visualize them or get to anything tangible, you're on this conveyor belt factory line process that really takes weeks or months before you even see a prototype. And so not the best way to be delivering customer value, but really the only way that we had available at the time. And then shortly thereafter, we got to the vibe coding era of all of the app builder tools that hit vogue last year. And really, really incredible just how quickly you can get to something. But if you're a product manager at Verizon or Amex or JP Morgan, any of the amazing companies here today, this sort of purple output doesn't really look anything like your existing product or your brand. And so sort of started to see some of the ingredients of the builder mindset that product managers were going to be able to adopt, but not really relevant to our day-to-day PM workflows. We were still sort of stuck in this environment. But then something changed. So I'm from Sydney, and at the turn of every year, we have the New Year's fireworks and we light up Sydney Harbour. And around about the same time, we had fireworks in AI because Anthropic came out with Claude Opus 4.6, and the way that we could work as product managers fundamentally transformed. One of my favorite PMs, Toby at Shopify, he's the CEO and has very much adopted a product builder's mindset with his commits chart to the Shopify Codebase going from flat to basically vertical overnight. And so this new way of working that's been coming to fruition over the last few weeks, the last few months, I think this post was just in February, is hitting us faster than ever before. And so we've got folks like Toby leading the charge from the front, and then we're also seeing companies like Ramp, that I'm a huge fan of, not just enabling individual product leaders to become builders, but actually build platforms that support that workflow. And so you can use something like Alloy as your product playground and system for building product in the AI age, or you can build your own if you have the internal resources to do so. All the tooling available to you. The main thing is it's going to really accelerate your product process, and it's going to mean that vibe coding really is the new product management, and building not just prototypes, but actually shipping features that you're handing off to your development team to review and push out to customers is going to become more and more central to our roles. So we had legacy design, sort of old school way of visualizing things, and then we had these consumer app builder tools. They were a lot of fun, but they were very purple for some reason. And then we had these PM as builder capabilities that have launched over the last few months that I'm going to be showing you today. And it really feels like you're Superman or Superwoman when you're playing with some of these capabilities, and really you're being able to get your hands dirty on shipping customer value rather than just planning and writing documents like I was at Atlassian. But how do we do this? Okay, cool story, nice slides, couple jokes in there, but tell me what I can actually achieve. So we're going to show you in just a moment how you can instantly explore product ideas. We're going to build a real visual prototype in 2 minutes that previously would have looked a little something like this workflow on the left. So if you're a product person and you're getting in those planning meetings and the way that you're building still looks a little something like this, hopefully what I'm about to show you is a new actionable workflow that you can try next time that hopefully accelerates your customer discovery, your ability to validate things with your users, and just communicate how you're thinking of improving your product in a way that's a little bit faster and more effective. So what I'm going to do is put the big demo word up on the slide, and then our friends at the back are going to switch us over to this screen that I've got over here. Awesome. All right, so I'm inside of an application, and this could be the Verizon dashboard, this could be the American Express billing portal, whatever product you're working on, put on the hat of a PM that's working on that tool, and then open it up in the browser. And let's say that as the PM of this system, I've just had a customer tell me, hey, this dashboard's interesting, but I actually need a little bit more data. I need more context. There's a couple of cards here, but just something a little bit more detailed right at the top so I can get a sense for what's going on with my platform would be really helpful. And so in the old world, design resources, engineering handoff, before you even have anything that you can share. But in the new world, what I can do is I can just pop open my Capture extension. And so this is available on the Chrome store. You can download it. You don't need any fancy permissions or approvals. And you can just open your product in the browser and then choose to capture it. Either one page, or you can record a multi-step flow if you so choose. But we'll keep it simple this time. We're going to press the capture button. And what's going to happen is that all of the context from that page and from that UI is going to get loaded in to my product prototyping platform so that I can now use it to vibe code and sort of put on the builder hat as if I were a designer or as if I were an engineer, but now with these superhuman powers. And so I'm going to come into my prompt box. You can see it's an exact replica of what I was just looking at. I've got my inner scroll, I've got my hover states, and I'm going to now think about that feedback I got from the customer a moment ago. So let's add some more details about this account at the top of the page. Customers are struggling to get a bird's eye view of the status from here right now. So what I'm going to do is I'll submit this. It's going to start getting to work on it. The first thing it's going to do is detect the design system, the components, the look and feel of the page. So you're not going to get these sort of crazy purple buttons, but you're going to get something very aligned to your brand and your design system guidelines. And if I fast forward a little bit here, this usually takes 2 or 3 minutes. What I'm going to end up with is this whole new section up the top that's basically giving me exactly the idea that I wanted to explore in a visual format that I can now look at and play with. So you can see it's come up with revenue pipeline confidence, capacity pressure, I have a real bird's eye view here with the color system on recommended actions. And I didn't even really need to give it specific direction. Of course, you can if you want, but I've gone from idea, maybe on a call with customer in a meeting, directly to a visual prototype that just from taking this URL, I can share in Slack, send over to my customer after the call on an email. And of course, I have all of my details here if I'd like to configure that further and define who can have access to this prototype, maybe edit it some more. By the way, if any of you use Figma or similar traditional design tools, you also have the ability to come in here and make specific changes. So maybe I want my fonts to be bigger. I want this to go away. So you don't only have to use chat. These systems are only improving further and further, and you get direct visual editing capabilities as well. So yeah, 1 minute prototype. Now we can have a tangible conversation with our stakeholders. How good's that? All right, let's switch back to another really cool use case. Now this is getting into really what we've seen start to hit the forefront of product management, not just since the turn of the year, but really over the last few weeks. Because the models are improving such a rapid rate that now you can, of course, prototype on production, capture a screen, and create a visual preview. But what we're seeing the very best product managers do, and this could be happening in your company already, is they're working directly on the real product code base. But that's creating a few issues, even though it makes it really easy for them to ship and push pull requests to production. And that's that it's not collaborative just yet. People have prototypes on their own laptops. There's no easy way to share them. They can't get them out to customers. You're not really aware of what teams around you are working on. And so we've gone 2 steps forward with AI, but then we've lost the collaboration component of tools like Confluence or Notion, where you could always see what was happening with your teammates around you. And so the product leaders always asking, how do we keep the secret sauce that our advanced PMs are making use of, but bring it in to a more collaborative environment? And if you recall what I showed you Ramp had done a few moments earlier, what I really recommend is ensuring that your company has one unified platform for product building so that everything that is going on with the prototype and build workflow is interconnected inside of a web app for everyone to jump into and take a look at. So this is the place that your captures go, that anyone can just one click build and prototype on, like I just showed you. But it's also the place that you can connect your Codebase, your MCP connectors like Jira, maybe Amplitude, your comment and collaboration experience, the pull requests that come out of all of these things. And if you have that all in the one place, your agent not only has all of the context that a human would, but humans have a place to go to see what the entire team is building. And this gets particularly helpful for building features that go out to production, because if I've come up with an idea that I want to ask the AI, let's say a new notifications platform that we're building, I can just send a link to one of my engineers, have him come in and put in the prompt for what the engineering architecture should be. Maybe the database tables that we already have that should be utilized, maybe some common gotchas that the agent might run into, and I can get right back to design or get right back to the product requirements. But that's not possible if we're all running the foundation models on our local machines like we used to do in the old development workflow. So how do we get from this old world of telling customers that it's on the roadmap, not being able to build things, to actually plugging in our code base, running in a collaborative environment where a PM can build things, engineers and designers can come in, copy changes are effortless. And that's the sort of thing that I'd love to, again, just give you a quick look at as I think the most advanced version of the PM to build a workflow transformation that you can take yourself on. So let's get back onto our computer and let's take a quick look. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open Alloy, and I'm going to show you something that we hooked up a little bit earlier. So let's see how we go here. I'm going to open my settings page, and then I'm going to go to GitHub. And that's what we use as our code repository, but maybe you have Bitbucket or GitLab. You can connect to any of these systems. And plugging that into Alloy is what allows it not just to capture a single page, but to run your entire product environment in the cloud in a collaborative space. So now that I've done that, and it's all set up and good to go, what I can do is I can even go to Slack. We have this playground channel. You can do this directly from any thread, or you can set up a dedicated channel like we have. And I'm going to build a real feature for Alloy inside of Alloy, show you how easy it is to actually ship straight to production. And so I'm putting on the hat of Alloy PM, which is my favorite job in the world. And I'm going to ask Alloy, hey, let's add a suggested prompts section above the prompt box on the homepage. We have a theory that by showing users examples of what to prompt, they can make better use of the platform. So I'm going to send that message, and you can see here that Alloy immediately takes a look. And unlike a real human, it responds straight away, which is really handy. You can come in here and see what it's getting up to. I've got a link to the session, so why don't we open that up? And it's immediately getting to work on adding this feature that I've asked for inside of my real application. So you can see on the left-hand side, it's thinking about where it should make the change. And then if I fast forward a couple of minutes, here's a version that it's come up with, where you see I've got my ideas at the top. If I click on one, it's come up with the prompts. I can switch between. And yeah, previously, we had something that's a little bit like this. So no prompt suggestions, no way for users to really understand what they can do. And then just a second later, put in a prompt from Slack. Anyone in the company can do this. You sort of access an agentic developer that's gone ahead and built it for you. I can immediately start playing around with it, submit this, and it's even built the backend code. So it's actually creating an Alloy session with this prompt example, and anyone in the company can now click that button inside of Slack, test that workflow, and give feedback. So maybe I'll come in here and I'll say, hey, Christian, what do you think of this? Should we ship it? Boom. So that's a quick peek at how you can immediately visually explore something. And by the way, just while I'm in here, because I know a few people have been asking me this question, it's running on your production code base, and so you're getting the code changes directly in the system. Our developers aren't even reviewing in GitHub anymore. They're just reviewing directly inside of here, checking that everything looks right, not just from a visual perspective, but a code perspective. And then, of course, I can push to my GitHub, GitLab, Bitbucket sort of code repository tool of choice, and it can go through the typical enterprise release workflow. So nothing that accidentally breaks production. Everything can go through code change, engineering approval, CI/CD, but so much easier to just get 80% of the way there rather than 5 to 10% of the way there with a PRD. So yeah, let's skip back out to close us out here today. All cool, all shiny, but just to recap, how can you actually take this from insight to action? What's easy? What's the next advanced step? What are the sort of things to be aware of? I'd say there's sort of 3 key actionable takeaways on implementing this sort of cloud product building system inside of your organization. The very first one, because a lot of folks have been coming up to the booth and asking, is you don't really need enterprise permissions or fancy connectors or integrations to get started on the capture demo that I just showed you. You can just start with that, add it from the Chrome store. It doesn't need access to any internal systems, just the page that you have open on your device. But if you want to take it to the next level, that Codebase demo that I showed you with the code changes, that is going to give you the sort of maximum product building power, and it's only really become accessible over the last few months. But if you start adopting a workflow like this, you're going to be shipping at a rate of your 2 to 3x the sort of pre-AI, pre-2026 product teams. And then once your AI engineer has the context of the code base, the next thing that you're going to want to give it is the same things that you would give a human, which is access to the context in Slack, Snowflake, Jira, Mixpanel, Amplitude. So many tools out the back over there that I've seen today that all have amazing MCP connectors. And if you just plug them in, your agent's going to be able to access that and not just build a feature that's ready for production, but actually build it in a way that matches your strategy, matches the detail inside of your engineering issues, so on and so forth. So everything we did today was live. I'm very thankful that it worked, because you never know when you're up on a stage like this. But the future's here today, and you can try all of this evening. And so hopefully that's a proof point and gives you the impetus to go off and give it a try, because in 2026, in the AI age, it's really about how you take advantage of these capabilities. And so hopefully a sprinkle of a few more things you can do help you enter into the next generation of product management and become a builder. Thanks so much.